This is Rebecca, the Steampunk Planner, and this is going to be a long video. This is one of many packages I have received for my birthday from my husband. So I am going to get this all sorted, and first thing I want to start off with are the inks. Now, my husband was able to, I pretty much did the, I would like these, I'd like to try that, and these were all purchased from Goulet Pens. And since this was his first time ordering stuff on there, he got a code to get a free 8-piece sample set. So that's in here as well. And he knew I needed cleaning stuff. So let's just go ahead and start with the inks first. Grab out my Sterling Ink Common Planner A5 and going to open up to today's page, which it's the 20th, which means ink day number 20. And sorry, I was trying to figure out why there was a line on the page and forgot that the card was back there. So we'll take care of that in a minute. I want to start with the Celadon Cat. And this is a Diamine ink I have been seeing others swatch, and I am in love with it. It is not a shimmer, but it is such a beautiful color. And when I order bottles or request bottles or anything like that, I always get, if I know it's going to be a color that I definitely want, I will always get the larger bottle size, just so that I always have it on hand. That is just me. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch it. I'm using my Kakimori Brass Nib, along with my deleter holder. And I'm going to, since I've already got the design already set here using the DeAtramentis Archive ink in black, I'm going to go ahead and color this in with the inks that I'm going to be swatching today, with the ones that I love. So this ink is gorgeous. The shadowing is amazing. The movement of it, fluidity of it, the flow is beautiful. I can very easily write with it, with this nib, without any issues as far as I'm concerned. And I definitely wanted to try this in more of a script, just in case. And in script, it is beautiful. And the reason why I wanted to do this in the script is I have a pen that I did request for my birthday that Steve did purchase. It has come in, and I haven't decided if I'm going to put this in that pen or not. At some point, this will go in that pen. I'll tell you about it later. Probably another video. But the DeAtramentis Archive ink does not move. Now, I have been asked if I can list or let you guys know how, what are the inks that are waterproof, water resistant, and I can only give you the ones that I have personally used. I know about DeAtramentis because I have used it. I don't want to give you anything that I don't know about, but I do know there are companies like Goulet who will swatch and do a water test on them. So it's going to only be the companies that they carry, but they're not the only company out there that does it. So I would even put the ink that you're interested in Google Images or in Pinterest, and see if anybody talks about it or shows you anything about how it dries and if it's water resistant or waterproof. So really happy with how this looks. I also love what I call the bloom, which is when you lift up the amount of ink that puddles and spreads. To me, that's a bloom. And therefore, that is going to give me shadowing. I love it. So I'm very happy with this ink. I knew I would not be disappointed at all. Now, this is the DeAtramentis Document Ink in Fog Gray. Now, on Goulet, this comes across as more of a purple gray, like is on the label. So I'm really curious about this, because if it is, I'm going to be happy, ecstatic, all that. But we'll see, because I have been surprised already by them, because their black archive ink is actually a dark gray. So we'll see. This being a document ink means that once it dries, it will not move, even if you hit it with water. So it's not supposed to move. We'll put it that way. Let's get it swatching. And just looking in the glass, it's really, really blue more than purple. And the interesting thing is, I've been looking for a blue black, and this is really more of a blue black. Now, I have found with DeAtramentis that in this nib, it flows so much that writing with it, it just puddles. So I don't get a clear word when I write it down. I will make sure all of these are listed below without fail, so that you know what I'm using. And yes, I just messed up. I was supposed to put ink there, but I'm just gonna blot it out. Had a little hair. And then I am going to actually put in Fog Gray. And I have to look and make sure, because I have, since I was a child, spelled gray with an A. And it's with an E. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and get this colored. Trying to decide. I'm leaning towards making this more like a jeweled necklace type of a mandala, so I think that's where I'm going to go with this. So far, the Celadon Cat is drying beautifully. I'm loving this completely. And while I'm doing this, I want to share with you, I've got to do some testing, but I have something that I knew that I want to share with you in my Sterling Ink B5 monthly areas. So I got to test. You're going to be with me when I test. And of course, Wednesday has to get in on this, but you will be with me when I test this out, just so that you have an idea of what I'm doing. And if you want to try it, you can try it. So this one does shadow well, but it definitely has no purple whatsoever in it. I'm still not disappointed. So as I clean this, I'm trying to decide. I think I'm going to go with my black one. Yes. And, oh, Wednesday. I'm sorry, y'all. Wednesday, like I said, he's never learned to meow. That is his meow. Is a scream. Oh, yeah. Keep screaming, kid. Anyway, this box is fighting with me big time. All right, here we go. Now, I'm hoping I'm going to say this properly, but I can't guarantee it at all. In one of my previous videos, I asked who uses what for a document, archive, or permanent ink. And I'm going to try it. Chou Platinum was recommended quite a few times. It was also given a bad review after recommendations. One of my viewers did warn me that it dries quickly and that I would need to clean my fountain pen a lot, which is fine. I actually contacted Goulet about this beforehand, and I love the fact that it's got this cute little cup that I can get the ink out of. I just dip it, it will fill the cup, and then I can fill my pen. So I love that about it. It's really cool. I've actually seen Karina use ones like that, and so to me that's really cool. But it did coat my nib quite a bit. Now, first off, this is the black that I'm looking for. All right, let me get back to it while I do this. Goulet Pen stated that yes, this is an amazing ink, and I need to make sure that whatever pen I put it in, I'm using it often, daily. And this just dried on me. Wow. Okay, let me get this in the water and while I talk with you. Okay, so they did recommend that I make sure that I'm using it regularly, daily, all day long, often as possible. And that they recommend every 2 weeks to flush the pen to make sure that this ink is not getting stuck in it. So, with that, I purchased the Goulet Pen Flush set. I'll go into that later. But I got this clean, got it dried, and instead of dipping it fully in, I only dipped it in a short bit. And it's working nice now. So I'm going to go ahead and get this written out. And I hope I am saying it right. Kuro. I don't know. I hope I am. But I'm angling it down now, and it kind of flooded a little bit, but that's fine. I do like how this writes. The flow is beautiful, and I look forward to trying this in my pen. I'm trying to decide, but I think I might try it in my Pilot Click before I try it in my Esterbrook Raven. Here's the Goulet Pen Flush. It comes with a bottle inside that I can pour some of this into for like my brass nib. It comes with a, oh my goodness. I know what it is for a baby, but those little things, I use one for blowing off my paper when I'm drawing. Also, I have the syringe set. This all comes all together in one set. So I am going to watch the video. They have a great video on cleaning, and follow the instructions that came with this. So, and I still can't think of the name of that blue thing. When I find out, I'll put it down below. Now, I did purchase a Monteverde pen in Expresso, and with that came the Private Reserve ink. And I have not used this before. This is in Infinity, and it is a prolonged cap ink. What that means is I can keep the cap off of my pen and off of the bottle for a little bit more of an extended duration and not worry about it drying. So it has it here on the label, which is great. So let me get it open, and I need to get my bottle opener to do that, and then we'll get swatching. Now I purchased this because it is considered, and it is on the label, a blue black. And that's something else I've been looking for, is a decent blue black. Now I know I have something like it in the fog gray, so it's an alternative. But wow, this is more what I'm looking for. So really, really happy. It flows nicely. It's not over wet. It makes really nice fine lines. So happy there. And it writes well without flooding this nib. Now, like I said, I haven't used Private Reserve before. Yeah, say that 5 times fast. I can't even say it once. But this makes me want to try more of them. I'm really impressed with how it is writing right now off the nib. So I'm going to go up and work in my design. And I'm testing the extended life of the lid being off. Well, even though it worked really nicely with swatching and with writing, it paints well as also. It's really nice. It doesn't have that bloom, and the thing is, actually, to tell you the truth, it's so dark. Probably can't. Let me get the lid out of the way. I'm not seeing a bloom, but it could be there for the shadowing. It is really, really dark. And I just realized I stuck my thumb in it. Yeah, I turned this so that I could keep my hands out of the drying ink, and I stuck my hand in it anyway. Oh well. I really like the depth of this color. And whereas, like I've said with the DeAtramentis Archive Black is more of a gray, it doesn't have that depth that the Platinum Black does. So I'm happy about my Platinum Black, and I'm looking forward to trying I'm looking forward, I love the Platinum Black, and I'm looking forward to trying it in my pen. I really am. I'm going to have to do that soon. This is very, very easy to work with. And I'm noticing it's not rippling my paper. A lot of the times when an ink is too fluid, there's a couple things that I find with a very fluid, wet ink. And that is the paper doesn't matter what paper I use, it will ripple and curl, and I have to put something on it to flatten it out. The other thing is when I fill my pens, whether it is refilling a cartridge, because that's what I do on my Pilot Clicks, if it's filling a converter. I don't know why that gets stuck in my head sometimes, but I fully fill a converter or a demonstrator. And as I've stated before, when I fill a pen, I don't like to put air in it. I completely fill it. If it's a very wet, fluid pen, I will barely get a week and a half out of it because it's just flowing too much. And I'm not into that type of a pen and not into that type of an ink. I do have some inks that do that. That doesn't make me happy. When I have too fluid of a pen, or ink, I will go ahead and put it in a fine or extra fine nib to help control it. Now, I've got this done. It's beautiful. I love the looks that I have right now. But I wanted to quickly show you, I've gone ahead and used the ink from the other day with Colorverse, and it is called, let me get it, Martian. Yes, Colorverse. Okay, so I added that in, and something I did want to share. The Wearing You'll Queen of Hearts, I told you it has a really fine gold shimmer in there. And I noticed the other day in a very dimly lit room that when the paper moved, it did have a soft, powdery, glittery look. So it's just not an in-your-face glitter. And I love that because then I have the color of the ink. I did add the Martian down here with a Heimdall, and I like it. So we're going to go back over, and I'm really happy. These are my colors for the 20-day of ink. I know. They did dry rather quickly. The shadowing of the Celadon Cat, and even the gray is beautiful. The platinum black dried fast as all get out. Not just on my nib, but it dried fast, and it is beautiful. It's the matte black that I'm looking for. And the Private Reserve, I'm so glad I have this because it's the blue black I'm looking for. So completely ecstatic on this. So right now I have a load of samples, well, a load, 8 samples that came with this. So let me get those pulled out, and while I do so, I want to finish what I'm talking about with inks and their flow. So I spoke about a really fluid flowing ink on how I handle it. Now, if the ink is not very, not very wet, but it's not extra dry, and it's not a document or archive type of ink, then it is going to be one of those inks that will not ripple my page, but it also will make it really, really easy to write with. And I will get 2 to 2.5 weeks out of a fill in my pen. So I am going to set up for a different day in here to sample these. Now, I have not gotten a ink that has been extra dry. Now, I am concerned that the platinum black, I'm going to try to say it again, Chou, Kuro, anyway, the platinum black I'm hoping is not going to be too dry and frustrating. So I'm looking forward still to working with it. Now this one is Sailor, and when I requested, Steve, he did put a note in there asking for no pinks. And they did write back and state, we cannot guarantee there's no pinks, but there is a pink purple. And voila, Studio 135 by Sailor. Let's look. Oh my gosh. It's a purple Pepto-Bismol. Actually, it's more like a purple orchid. All right, we'll wait for our decision until it dries. But I have not ever used a Sailor ink. And I know a lot of people really, really like it. It's flowing nicely, and I can easily write with it with my Kakimori Brass Nib. So I'm happy there. I do see that it is definitely rippling my paper. So I'm glad I have my frog clamped on. So let me quickly organize my samples here and put all of the companies together. I'm not going to sample these in their color. I'm going to sample these, I'm hoping, in their company names. All right, let's get back to it. So I have another Sailor, and I will say one of my inks did make a mess in the bag. I haven't figured out which one yet, but some of them do have some splotches of ink on them. I don't know if it, because it was in the bag, so I don't know if it came from them or was leaked in my bag, but let's give it a go. This is, again, Sailor, and it's another studio. Oh my gosh, this is a red I have never seen before. I like how it blooms. I love how it writes. It doesn't flood my nib. And it writes decently on this in smaller writing. I may have to go buy Studio 530. I like it. I really like it. I really, really like it. All right. I have Sailor Yurameku. Yurameku. Kokoro. Oh my gosh. I apologize. I commend everybody that can say these. I have the worst time pronouncing because I sound out the way I was taught because of my dyslexia. So not every time does sounding out work with words. Yeah. All right. When I saw this on the outside, I thought it was a black. And then when I opened it, I thought it was a green. This is a brown. Wow. All right, let me see if I can say it as I write it. So, here we go. Yurameku. Okay. Kokoroguma? Kokoroguma. Ay. All right, I want to sample this out some more. Do you see the green that I'm seeing in this? I wonder what the shadowing is going to look like. This may be one that I also need to get. I don't know, but I like that. You know me on browns. Oh my gosh, I got to get that one. I think I do. Oh my gosh, I don't know. This is why I often don't get sample sets, because just like watching other people sample the inks they have, I want to get them all. So yeah, you can't have them all. So this is Noolders, and this is a golden brown. I have 3 Noolders inks, and these are very wet, very, I will say it, juicy inks. So I don't use them much. I do, the 3 that I have are full bottles. So we'll see on this one. I mean, it says golden. Ooh. It's almost like an antique gold. Oh, I'm definitely going to have to put this in on the mandala. Yep, it's going to have to go on my mandala. I don't know yet if it's one that I have to get. It might be, especially if I start doing more in 2025, which is my plan. And yes, I'm being very nondescript. You'll find out. But I like this. Yes, I know it's another brown, but I really like this. All right, platinum, blue black. Now, I don't know if it's the same company as the Churu, Kuro. Wow, I'm really butchering things now. No, it's not late at all. Let's just swatch and forget about trying to say it. I don't know if this is the same company. So, but I do know this is not blue black. It does write nicely. It does swatch nicely. It's not rippling my paper heavily, but it's definitely not a blue black. I'll have to reserve my judgment until the end when it's dry. So, yeah. Okay. Let's continue on. The Noolders really started pulling up my paper, so I need to shift everything. All right, this one is the DeAtramentis, and it's a document. Let me clean my nib first. Hold on. I have situations where I just can't talk and do something at the same time. I don't know why. So, this is the DeAtramentis document ink in gray. And it looks exactly like the archive ink in black. So, yeah. Definitely won't be getting this one. It definitely writes a little better. And then there it goes. It just flooded me. Okie dokie. I was hopeful. My hope is gone. All right, so that went. And gray. Sorry, I know this one's going to be a really long one, and I normally don't do ones this long. So I thank you for keeping with me, and I understand if you're like, gotta go. Completely understand. So let's get that tightened up, and we're going to go to this one, which is the Robert Oster Blue Water Ice. I was half expecting, with it saying ice, that it should have a shimmer. It doesn't. So, let me get my nib cleaned. And let's dip in and find out. I will say my pen support on my middle finger is getting quite colorful. All right, that is definitely a blue water. That is really a bright blue water. I'm liking how it is shadowing as I write, but it's definitely really wet. And it's rippling my page. Well, I definitely can say that no, this is not going to be one of mine. I appreciate the sample. And I will still probably use it. I might use it with painting. But I don't see using it in one of my pens or purchasing it. So it's not that I'm against bright colors. Please don't get me wrong there. But I do love my Moody's. But it is just not me. DeAtramentis, I am out of sequence, but okay. DeAtramentis, this is not an archive or a document ink, which means it is not going to stay put when it dries. So it looks black, but I can't tell because the dots on the rim look blue. So what are you? You're purple. Ooh, you're like an eggplant purple. Ooh, I'm liking you. Definitely floods my nib, which to me means that it's going to work fine in my fine or extra fine nibs, pens. Sorry. I just looked up and saw I'm off camera. Let me finish this. I apologize. But I don't want to waste too much time with the ink in the nib and having an issue. So, but this is Alexander Hamilton. Sorry, I didn't say that, did I? No, I don't think so. This is Alexander Hamilton. Very nice. Interesting. All right, let me get my nib soaking and get the bottle cleaned up, and I want to take a closer look at everything. Well, I definitely am not into the Studio 135. But I do like the Studio 530, the Yurameku, because that's the only one I can say. I do like the golden brown, and I do like the Alexander Hamilton. The platinum blue black is looking more periwinkle. Yeah. And shockingly enough, the DeAtramentis document gray is not dry. I hit it a little bit ago while I started, and it shifted. So yeah, not happy about that. So, oh dadgummit, I'm still, okay, sorry, you guys can't see all of my inks. I apologize. I don't want you to wait on me to do everything over. Let's go ahead and get into the Monteverde pen that I purchased. Give me a second to get this silly box open. Sorry guys. All right, finally I have it. Here it is. It is the Expresso magnetic cap. And there is a helicopter flying above. Sorry if you hear that. So it comes inside with the cartridges in black and blue, along with the Ritma collection that has all of the magnetics and a card explaining everything that you need to know about this pen, along with the pen having a converter. So, listen to that. That sounds so cool. All right. So, this does twist. It doesn't want to twist for me right now. All right. I had to get it going. It does twist off. Here's the converter. And it's got a beautiful movement. I love the black chrome look. That dip, which it's on the pen. This pen is, let me make sure. It is a fine, And I love that magnetic sound. It's beautiful. I'm sorry, that's not a fine, it's an extra fine. I just picked up the box. So this will be shown on a different video as well, but I think it's gorgeous and I love the magnetic stem and the magnetic cap pin. So both ends are magnetized, so this is excellent. Here is the mandala now that I have finished it. I think it is cool looking. It's a little messy, but hey, it's ink, we're playing. And there's Wednesday yet again. So I have used on this hold on. Sorry, I had to shoo Wednesday out of here. Noolders Golden Brown, along with the Studio 530 and Alexander Hamilton. Thanks for being with me.